Welcome to Nintendo Ninja News. I'm your host Chris Tysis, and we're here to talk about Google Stadia. Yes, Google's big entry into the video game industry. We do like to keep an eye on the competition, so to speak, but this is a big one. This is Google. This is not a small-time player, and they've got their tentacles into everything with this sort of system setup. So, what Google Stadia is, it's a streaming service that plays games from Chrome instantly to your PC, TV, tablets, smartphones, and Macs later on down the distance. And you'll be able to play from HD to 4K to even 8K at 60 frames per second, which is a very cool thing. So, for example, they had you could be watching a game trailer for Assassin's Creed or Call of Duty or something like that. At the end of the trailer, it's got the press the play button. You click the press the play button on YouTube, and it instantly comes up, and it instantly takes you into the game, which is quite amazing. And they showed off the how that was done on your laptop, your TV, and things like that with their own Google controller, which we'll go into next. And it was quite instant, and they purposely found a pretty old computer in order to do that, and it seemed quite instant and it seemed quite good. Now, moving on from that, that sounds like a really cool thing. Now, moving on, now they had showed the Google controller, and it's not quite like the patent that was around on the internet. It looks a bit more like an Xbox One controller, or a bit like the Switch Pro controller. Ergonomically, it looks a lot more comfortable, and it looks pretty decent. But there's a couple little additional things with that. It has a couple buttons, which is how it connects. Is it connects to Wi-Fi straight to the game data center. So it just pops it up on the TV screen as long as you have a Chromecast. So if your TV is not a smart TV, you can go to the Chromecast and then it will play your games. Now it also has, for one button, it does YouTube capturing. So it sort of captures stuff, and you can share it online and all that sort of thing, which is very, very cool. And it also has another button for Google Assist. So that will help you load certain games that you own, and it can help you via voice get into multiplayer lobbies and things like that, which is a very cool, interesting thing. Now, it will also be compatible with existing controllers. So your Xbox, your PlayStation, even the Nintendo Switch Joy-Cons and the Pro controller, which there was an update in the Chrome sort of people were data mining a bit and seen that there was an update coming for that, which is very, very interesting. So we've been hearing about this stuff before this presentation. Now, of course, it's going to be cross-platform, and it's going to have game saves as well, so you can cross-platform, playing one on a traditional console, and you can go to the streaming servers of Stadia. Now, some of the YouTube features, which is interesting, is one thing is called crowd play. Now, you can join a content creator, like they're playing basketball, or they're playing a multiplayer game like Call of Duty. You're looking for a squad, and you can on the YouTube you can click a button and request to join to play with the actual content creator, and then they will pick the three players, or you're in a list or a line, and you're the fourth player or the fifth player to play, and you can join the content creator who runs that YouTube channel to play with you, which is a pretty nice feature. I'm a little concerned that it could be open to abuse, spammy type viewers who come on and start swearing and carrying on. So there will probably be management control for the YouTube users as well on their end to protect themselves from that, you would think. Now, another one called State Share, another feature, is replaying certain moments, like certain bosses or certain levels, and you can use this feature, and it will pop off as a actual link. So people click on the link, they go straight into the game via Chrome, and you can actually replay that part of the level based on the certain health bar or exactly the same situation that that content creator was going through. So you're sort of reliving the content creators' online adventures, which is another interesting thing. It's a pretty cool feature to have. So not only that you can watch people play games online, but you can actually relive the same experiences that they have been going through during that stream, which is another cool feature. And the other one is Google Assistant. So you click on the Google Assistant during streaming online and playing online, and you can find videos such as, how do I beat this level, and a video will pop up and show you how to go through that level or try to solve that, Legend of Zelda puzzle, so to speak. Of course, Stadia is not going to have that, but you understand where I'm coming from. Now, it's going to have parental controls and all that sort of thing, which is interesting. And now, they didn't say anything about its price or its release. It's going to be coming in 2019, so that's a good news. And it will be first to be released in US, Canada, UK, and Europe. Unfortunately, for us Australians, or myself who lives here, it looks like that we won't be getting it there. So it's a little annoying. It's going to be interesting. I would say that there will still be some announcements for it too, but it's interesting. It's a very interesting concept. Everything like this. It's still early days. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of skeptical traditional gamers who prefer to get a console box and the controller and physical games and things like that. But streaming games is going to be part of the future if people like it or not. And I'm not totally embracing it, but it's going to be interesting to see how this future is met, and how this challenge will be met, and how will Microsoft respond, and Sony and Nintendo and even Steam and Epic Games. They're trying to do a store online and all that sort of thing. It's going to be really interesting to see how this goes. This pans out once Google Stadia debuts and takes off. There's definitely some interesting concepts. I like the fact that you don't need to have a high-end PC to play these games. You could do it on your phone, like an old phone like mine, or your TV. You've got a Chromecast, and you can get the Google controller and have those additional features and things like that. So the concept is interesting. I like it, and it's going to be interesting to see what's going to be like in the future. Do let me know in the comments what you think about it. I think you've got to keep an open mind. You can't judge it off one presentation. People will try to have a go at this and play it. Is it going to be buying games individually? Is it going to be a subscription service as well? I think it could be a bit of both. I don't know. But they showed Doom playing on it, and it played pretty well. And that's going to be in 4K HDR, 60 frames per second native. So it's none of that sort of flickery sort of stuff you see with the traditional consoles and the pro versions of it, where it doesn't quite get to 60 frames, or it's not quite 4K, checkerboards and stuff like that. But overall, I was, impressed in certain parts, but not all the details that we wanted came out. The price and the release and how is this going to be delivered and all that sort of thing, or the cost of the control itself. So, still questions to be asked, but I'm curious about it. I'm curious to see what this future that Google's trying to do. And if there was a company that could deliver this type of thing with all their data centers and that all around the world, 200 countries they've said and boasted, well, it is Google. But it's going to be an interesting future. Let me know what you think, and what do you think how this is going to affect Nintendo? I don't think it's going to affect Nintendo that much. I think they've got their own thing. Sony and Microsoft will have their own thing. But this might affect Microsoft a lot more, because they are trying to do their own streaming service. It's going to be interesting to see that the Google-Microsoft type battle happening. So I wonder how this is all going to turn out. But Yes, a brave new future. What can Google do to shake up the video game industry? And some impressive ideas, but see what happens. So that is it for me, and I shall see you later on.